पैदा चल दे से चैंपियंस लीग एक हाथ गैस में हैंगुमन किक पे जब नरमने भाग दुलने भीदी दस्ते गोल एक गन्ना इसी सरसने समरोह बिन्ने साथ देने one heart. One game, one heart. Champions League. This is where we start. Together we dream, together we fight. We are the champions. Under the light.
Football under podamoriye. Irangal murdangal kadandidame. The Champions League is finally one game, one heart. Champions League, this is where we start. Together we dream, together we fight. We are the champions. That we defend. Marangal kikkagome, kalathil arudiyai minnavumave. Now me Champions League varave. Unalvadakke tarume.
Cheer ekai kemmak denne, kollo set ekama ek wenne. Goal ekata kick ek denne. Champions League mein aramenne. Champions League, satanai aramenne, dibidenne, jayaganne, ek seenata apiyanne. One game, one heart, Champions League where dreams take part. Raise your flags, feel the art. One game, one heart. Hello, one dream, one star. Hello, one game, one heart. Champions League, forever we play. The spirit.
Sri Lanka Football Champions League. Powered by TV Supreme.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the second semi-final of the Champions Cup football tournament. As the tournament now makes its way into the money end, as one team has already qualified for the final and the next will be decided within the next 90 minutes or so. The conditions here at the racecourse grounds is hot and humid. There is not any rain in sight. There is a bit of wind, but I'm sure that will not play too much of a role here as we prepare. It's Serendib set to take on Saunders in the second semi-final of the Champions Cup football tournament. This action can be watched on the Sri Lanka Football Facebook page in Sri Lanka and on YouTube as well, only in Sri Lanka. Supreme TV for all the terrestrial TV viewers and the Papare for worldwide viewing. The tournament heats up and we are just a few minutes away from the kickoff of this game. But before that, let's have a quick look at how Sri Lanka performed yesterday against Chinese Taipei. The Lankans managing a 3-1 victory thanks to goals from Rahul Suresh, Nilushan and an own goal which helped Sri Lanka end the campaign on a winning note. I have Sudarshana alongside me in the comment box. Sudarshana, great victory for Sri Lanka, and I'm sure they will no doubt be hoping to carry their form through into the next few games as well.
Oh, what a fabulous win for Sri Lanka, especially on the road as well. 3-1. Dominant performance. They were leading 2-0 for the longest time in that game, Romario, and absolutely lighting it up in South Korea. Was an important one, especially for Sri Lanka, given the fact that they are building up momentum, and this team has given a lot of hope, climbing up in the rankings in the world stage, and you got to really build up on that.
Indeed, rankings have no doubt been improved very much, and our football, the quality of it has also improved leaps and bounds, and it's good to see for the Sri Lanka football faithful that football is headed in the correct direction. That was the own goal which made it 3-0, but moments later in the 56th minute Sri Lanka did concede, but that did not have any effect on the final outcome of the game, as the Lankans managed to end that game 3-1, and quite a commanding victory, beating Chinese Taipei home and away, doing the double over them.
Serendib Silva in half mind there whether to go or not for that ball, but then better result for Sri Lanka. 3-1 is how we won that fabulous victory for the country. But here we have action from a very important semi-final. Serendib taking on the Saunders. Saunders FC, of course, a legacy club, isn't it, Romario? One of the oldest, but definitely the most successful club in Sri Lanka when it comes to all the competitions.
Indeed, they will no doubt be hoping to stamp their authority, even though they fell short in the Champions League. They will now move their sights to this Champions Cup knockout competition, where they are just 2 games away from winning the lot. But before they go to the final, they have to face a strong Serendib outfit. And the winner of this game will face St. Mary's, who defeated Java Lane not so long ago at this same venue early on today.
Oh, fabulous. That would have been one with the very dedicated fans. St. Mary's has their own set of fans who travels and are vocal. Java Lane, not far away from here as well, will have had their fans all in numbers. Game going down to the wire, and we can expect the same from both these teams, who will be hungry to get that victory. Saunders wanted to go back to their former glory, and Serendib has been the new challenger.
Indeed, I think Java Lane, they were trailing most of that game as they scored a late equalizer in the 88th minute, and unfortunately they scuffed a couple of penalties which saw them fall short against St. Mary's. Now it's time for Serendib to take on Saunders, as the teams are set to make their way into the playing field. A pristine turf here at the Racecourse International Stadium. The heat, of course, playing its part, but the outfield looks lush green, and it's good to see that things are looking really good for kickoff, as the youngsters carry the FIFA flag. As the two teams follow suit, with Serendib and Saunders preparing to enter the fray. Both sides will be desperate to make their way into this final, the Champions Cup final, as they look to secure silverware at the end of this long and grueling season. Serendib in their white, pink and white outfit, and Saunders in their customary yellow. Sudarshana will no doubt be hoping to get the victory over Serendib, but it won't be an easy game for Saunders as well.
3 teams live in this competition. 1 team is going to make that final for certain. 2 teams with an opportunity, but who will it be? The old guard of Sri Lankan football or the new challengers who've come through? Saunders, like you mentioned, have had that edge coming in at the latter part of this tournament, especially with the inclusion of the 3 overseas players who have really lit them up. But Serendib, of course, a worthy challenger as well.
Indeed, the Serendib team with their team photo just prior to kick-off, as the 2 captains, Mohammad Lufti and Indiva Udara, will be lining up for the toss. Indiva Udara in his final few games as skipper for Serendib, he has made a decision to retire. He will no doubt be hoping to end on a high note. Shashika Madhushanka will be the referee, with Lairu and Hiranta the touch judges, and Indunil the 4th official in this second semi-final of the Champions Cup football tournament.
Very interesting semi-final here, and it's a good thing that we are starting off at this time. As we take a look at Serendib, Rishad, Riaz, Rahman, Vijay Kumar, Safari, Farhan, Abhishan, Lutfi, the skipper, and also the goalkeeper, Famipong and George, making up the starting 11 for Serendib. Sujay Sutkar, Zaid, Ashir, Ahmad Faslan, Fazmil Abdullah and Aram, the substitutes. The men in yellow: Saunders, Priyadarshan and Ali Mufasil, Gemhan, Pereira, Indivudar, the skipper, Aziz, Fauzan, Clovis, Felipe and Alassane functioning as the goalkeeper, the 3 overseas players for Saunders. Lakshan, Chandrasekhar, Nipuna, Shahid, Zaid, Fatih, Atkinson, Ramzan, Gagana, Kalpana, Danuka and Vimukti making up the squads for Saunders.
The Saunders fans have made their way, as they will no doubt be looking to make quite a bit of noise, and hope that their team can come up with the goods here in this second semi-final. Quite a late kick-off, 2100, but I'm sure the teams will no doubt be fired up, Sudarshana, and they will be raring to go.
You got to really appreciate the fact that the FSL has made the decision for the late kickoff, because it's been scorching hot, Romario, and in games like this you want your players to play in the most suited conditions you can give them, to try and make it a enthralling game.
Indeed, Serendib kicking things off. Saunders with the possession. Saunders going with a balanced 4-3-3 out formation, and they will no doubt be hoping to make headway early on. Serendib as well going with quite a similar formation. Both teams will be eager to start fast, but they also know that towards the end of the game, when players tire, that too could be an opportunity for the opponents to get into it. However, we are well underway here at the Racecourse International Stadium, as Frank tries to pick out a pass, but it was not successful. Serendib looking to get a bit of control and playing a few 1-2s, but unfortunately the final pass gets picked off. Still both teams trying to feel their way into this game early doors. Serendib have got quite a few touches, unfortunately though not in the right part of the field, as Saunders players try to look to get in behind. Unfortunately though, just a bit too much on that, as we see the coach of Serendib, Raj Sharon, from the technical area, while Shantasiri is the man in charge for Saunders. Shot taken, but doesn't really trouble the keeper, as it's well away from Roger Phillip. But early on, trying to get a feeler into the game, Sudarshana trying to just find their footing early on, Saunders.
Yeah, good run made on the right flank as well, which made Philip take that shot, because the ricochet could have fallen beautifully for Nali. Saunders, one of those teams who have opted to go for overseas talent to try and make sure that they build a wall in front of the goal, and also employs Clovis in the defensive role as well. There has been very early indications that Saunders are going to approach this game early when it comes to the management of the game. They are going to be very focused on the territorial part of it. They want to play football as much as they can high up on the pitch. Serendib, on the other hand, looking like a team who are willing to run. They want to get in their touches.
Trying to work their way from inside their own half, but trying to catch the goalkeeper off his line. However, Alassane well up to it, as Mufassal tries to pick a pass. Unfortunately though, does not go to the foot of Roger Phillip. Still the two teams just 5 minutes into this game, trying to string a few passes and get things going, as Roger Phillip is caught offside.
Philip puts his hand up and he's in protest, but he did look like he was offside, Romario. When we if we can take a look at the replay as well, here has already started, already gone.
But now on the other end is Serendib, trying to get the ball to the foot of the forward. Unsuccessful, as running onto it was the big man Frimpong Yao. However, unfortunately for him, did not get the connection he would have liked on his weaker left.
Alassane not shy about how he feels. Tells his defense, you need to push it out. Can't be giving that ball on the volley.
Now an opportunity to break. Frank trying to get the cross in. Cuts it back. Let go as Roger Phillip unfortunately does not get the connection he would have liked with his left foot. As Fauzan picks out the skipper, but he leaves it for his support player. Now Frank again trying to play it over. Does manage to do so, but Lutfi up to the task. Cleans his area. But Saunders are no doubt up for it, Sudarshana.
Again, a great intervention by Nalim. Some of those movements don't get noticed from Mario, but those hard runs off camera is what you do to push your opponent when your plan is to make sure that it's trap them in their own territory. You got to make sure that you work hard, and that's what Nalim is doing.
Now Serendib trying to string a few passes in the opponent's half, but just unable to do so. Lovely back heel. Unfortunately though, the next pass following that wasn't to man, but lovely bit of play there by Roger Phillip. Still Serendib playing too much in their own half, but now an opportunity. Here goes the forward trying to get the shot, but well marshalled and well blocked.
Defensively, interesting formation, isn't it, Romario, where Indi Budara has been working in front of the defensive line. Here's an opportunity, but flag goes up for the run. George in protest, but was in front, had started a little early. Saunders yet again conceding possession in their own half. This is not ideal for them. Nalim now to Safan. Serendib back with possession. Saunders have managed to dislodge them very consistently, now with possession in a dangerous area. Now Philip, the first touch wasn't what he wanted it to be.
A bit too casual on that occasion was Roger Phillip. He had a man on as well on the right hand side, but just letting him down his first touch. Now Frimpong Yao, Darko George in fact trying to find Frimpong Yao. Rahman beating the first man, getting the cross into the box. Here's an opportunity. Situation diffused by the Saunders defense as Roger Phillip comes deep looking for work, setting off Mufasal, but he brings his opponent down in quite a soft foul. And this is a replay of Mufasal. Back live. Philip trying to get the cross in. He manages to do so. Here's an opportunity, but well off target and well defended by Rishad Umar as well. He was on the line to clear it, and he saw that it was away and just let it go by. So early opportunities fall in the way of Saunders. However, unfortunately for them, not on target, Sudarshana.
Yeah, largely due to their dominance in the territorial quarters. They haven't been shy to go to work up high on the pitch. Serendib, to their fault, have been playing too much football, and with their touches that time Nalim will be lucky to escape the books. Referee Sashanka Madhushankar.
That was quite a late lunge there by the number 5. Nalim, the player who had the possession, had clearly gone past well and truly, but he lunged and brought him down. Now it will be Frimpong Yao to get the ball into the box. Hoists it in, looking for a head. Here's an opportunity. However, falling to the forward of Serendib. Unfortunately though for him, Vijay Kumar Abhishan just unable to get that header on target. The second ball fell luckily to him, but just unable to direct the header on target. So opportunities on both ends of the field, but neither team able to hit the target, nor was the goalkeeper. Break on for Saunders. Here's a chance. Great clearance there on by the number 6, Mohammad Riaz. The defense was well beaten by the Saunders player, and he did beat the keeper as well, but Riaz at the right place at the right time. And now Lutfi in a bit of trouble.
Well, the only reason Saunders does not have a goal in front of their name rather is because of the good work the defensive aspect of Serendib has been doing. They've been the ones creating chances earlier time as well off target, but if the defense decided to intervene, Romario could have turned out to be a own goal. They did well to pull out of that Serendib. Riaz near again, making the timely intervention. Here, goalkeeper beaten. If it went past him, there would have been curtains for Serendib, but having the good sense. But the threat is not over. Saunders with an opportunity.
Pathum Gimhan, that was running down that left flank. Now it will be Mufasal to hoist it into the box. Keeper comes out, gets it. Here's a chance, and that's the first goal. Roger Phillip at the right place and flicks it in to the back of the net. And Saunders have broken the deadlock. 15 minutes in, and there's a celebration. He's no doubt enjoying it. Keeper came and was beaten, and from then on Saunders did really well to guide the ball into the back of the net, assisted by Pathum Gimhan by the looks of it, as Roger Phillip made no mistake of guiding the ball into the back of the net. Sudarshana.
16th minute opener in this knockout game, and in knockout games goals are pressure, Romario. Philip has been the more crafty one at top, and here's an opportunity for Serendib. George dislodged from the ball with the intervention by the skipper.
The only good thing though for Serendib is they have a bit of time left on their hands, but it's never good to go down, especially with that first goal, because in these knockout games it's always pressure to see yourself fall behind.
For Serendib, it was their goalie and skipper Lutfi, who was severely under pressure just before that as well. Romario, just before that corner, he was beaten for all money, and then the timely intervention of Riaz is what refrained Saunders getting the goal only momentarily, as they managed to score, because yet again Lutfi being beaten, and Philip making sure that he gets the goal for Saunders.
Setting it off to the skipper as Mufasal gives it back to the goal scorer. Here's an opportunity for Saunders, trying to double their lead. Now the captain getting it into the box. Chance still not diffused, but just managing to diffuse it in the nick of time was Serendib, as Saunders are now pushing bodies forward, Sudarshana, and applying quite a bit of pressure. Here's another chance, looking to flick it. Unfortunately for him, this time it was Clovis Frank who missed it completely, but great bit of improvisation there. Shot from range, however, does not trouble the keeper there, does Indi Udara. However, things are looking quite promising for Saunders, as the Serendib defense seems to be folding time and time again, Sudarshana.
Yeah, the one goal has given them that confidence, Philip. And here's shot from range, and what a goal! And that's a goal and a half. That time by Abdulaziz. Absolute top drawer stuff from Saunders. Take a look at this, Philip. The earlier pass was important. And Aziz goes to the top right corner.
Top bin there by Abdulaziz, and the keeper, well, he was merely a spectator there, looking at the ball, beating him into the back of the net. And it doesn't get better than that for anyone, as Abdulaziz shows how it's done. Top bin, and Serendib find themselves in quite a bit of pressure, as Saunders have doubled their advantage in the 20th minute, and by the looks of things, this will be quite a long evening for Serendib if they are unable to be the team that scores next. Just lunging out there with his arm was Frimpong Yao. The defender was not too pleased with that.
Yeah, fair game there, Romario, for the defender to show his dissatisfaction, because he had cleared it long before. Frimpong Yao getting out the frustration. It's never nice to concede 2 goals in such quick succession. Nalim, Mufasal, Nalim makes the run. Philip overshoots opportunity for Frimpong Yao, but again cheaply given away by Serendib, which has been the case for them. Saunders will be now very comfortable to try and slow down the pace of the game, Romario. They can afford to do this because 2-0 lead is what a 1-goal lead is no goal lead, as they say in football.
Indeed, now they are controlling possession, command in that midfield area, as Serendib are stuck inside their own half and under quite a bit of pressure. The press from Saunders is working as well. Here's another opportunity. Will they be able to triple their advantage? Abdulaziz, this time unable to pick a pass. Was in two minds whether to shoot or to pick a pass. Tried to do so, but unfortunately for him, was not able to find a teammate. Now Frank switching to Roger Phillip. Here's the skipper trying to take a shot, but well blocked. And his second attempt to pick a pass was dispossessed. Whoa, great speed there by Frimpong Yao. Shot taken from range, however, does not trouble Alassane, as Serendib break out, but unable to make any use out of that.
They've been held up so high on the half by Saunders. When they do break out, they're not breaking out in numbers. Alassane has had a quiet day today. Some good defensive work by the Saunders defense. Priyadarshan and Ali Pereira and Fauzan, who has been brilliant at the back. The skipper also dropping down and making sure that he pressures ball carriers of Serendib, and their assurance in completing the passes has really been the difference.
Lovely pass there down the left flank. Now numbers breaking out for Saunders. Unfortunately though, Pathum Gimhan just unable to pick a pass with his left. Here's the skipper trying to pick one out. Mufasal, good tackle coming in, crunching tackle. Lutfi though has gone down in a heap.
Yet again, brilliant work by Riaz. Fabulous getting the ball and getting in between man and ball, making sure he forced that tackle. It's the second time Riaz has intervened and prevented a sure score for Saunders.
Indeed, Mufasal, he had the opportunity to get the shot away, but two bodies been thrown at him by the Serendib players, Lutfi and Riaz. Both players have been in the wars and have found themselves in a bit of trouble for the effort they have put in, but I'm sure the magic spray will do its job as it always does. Bit of ice and magic spray, and there you go. The keeper is back on his feet, and it will be just a matter of time before Riaz to on first we win. We did think that the keeper was in a bit more trouble than Riaz, but the defender is getting a bit of more attention than Lutfi. Saunders will be quite pleased with the first 26 minutes of this game. The way they have fared, having got 2 goals for all the effort they have put in. Good return.
Yeah, the 25 minutes where they've managed to create 2 chances that have ended up in goals, but they created many more chances as well, which will be encouraging for the team. And defensively, that time losing balance versus George.
Penalty. Frimpong Yao has won himself a penalty as Nalim just seemed to get himself in the wrong place. Darko George it was, beg your pardon, as he did not go down on the first time, but took himself a bit of time to go down. But the referee thought that Nalim had enough contact with the attacker. And what a great opportunity for Rahman to cut the deficit in half. Alassane will no doubt look to put the penalty taker off. Mohammad Rahman lining up the penalty from the spot. Takes a stutter step and finds the back of the net. Half the deficit does Rahman, as this game Sudarshana is well and truly alive.
Just what the doctor ordered for Serendib. Just what the doctor ordered. As I mentioned earlier, 1 goal lead in football is a no-goal lead, and in these knockout games, it's pressure back on Saunders.
Indeed it is, as well as Serendib had to be the team scoring next, and that's exactly what they managed to do. And well, 30 minutes into this game, 3 goals, and what a game this has been in this first 30 minutes. Half hour has flown by us, and action heats up well and truly. Players getting involved in a bit of afters, but I think it was that trailing arm by Priyadarshana which caught his opponent Safan. However, they are back up to their feet, and now another opportunity for Frimpong Yao to swing the ball into the box. Off his left foot, gets it in. Header coming by Nalim, clears his lines somewhat as Vijay Guma tried to keep the ball in play. Unfortunately though for him, he was unable to do so. But the throw goes the way of Serendib, as Riaz Frimpong Yao picking out a couple of passes, but the ball back with Lufti. Serendib trying to break. Here's the penalty scorer, the goal scorer rather, Rahman, but his pass doesn't go to his intended target. Neither does Indi Budaras. Hoisted, however, the Saunders defense holding firm. Now Roger Phillip, he goes down, and quite a belated call there by the referee, but his whistle comes. It looked like he did not get anything on Philip. Did Riaz?
Yes, Riaz did look like he got ball, yes. opportunity though for Saunders. They've been clinical in their finishes inside the box. Aussies have showed that he has range as well.
From long range out, going for the shot was the Saunders number 10, Samir Pereira, but just unable to keep it on target with his notable blue hair. Saunders trying to break, but just lacking a bit of accuracy. Turn in. Did well. Did Clovis Frank. Here's Indi Udar. Beg your pardon, Pathum Gimman. That was. Here's an opportunity to increase the lead. Unfortunately, though, Roger Phillip tried a bit too much before getting that shot away. And in unfortunate fashion, he was off target, Sudarshana.
Plenty of other yellow jerseys inside that box calling for that ball. And Philip, all he had to do was pass it to Clovis, who would have given it to Mufassal. That was a real opportunity. But wanting to get another. Yet again, good intervention by Saunders, who are putting a price on that possession. They've done it all game and have really put Serendib under pressure.
Pathum Gimman trying to get it in early, but just not to his teammate, as Serendib recovers. Trying to find Rahman, but now they managed to do so from the throw-in. Just unable to pick out passers are these teams, and it has not helped their cause, as neither are able to string too many together. Nalim, goal scorer. Unfortunately though for Serendib, Frimpong Yao commits a foul, and the free kick goes the way of Saunders. That was a foul. Not too rash a challenge, but enough to draw the free kick. Indi Udar, the skipper, with his blonde hair, playing in a lovely pass. Here's an opportunity, and that will be the third goal for Saunders, and the 2-goal cushion is back. Mohammad Fauzan it is. What a pass by the skipper, as he finds his player onside and just getting enough. And once you come that far, the keeper, he has to get a hand or even get a hold of it, Sudarshana.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're committed to the ball, make sure you go all the way. Lutfi hasn't been himself after getting beaten the first time, Romario. And Fauzan gets his name on the board. 3 goals to 1. Yet again, Saunders taking control of this game. And Serendib are set to sulk third time already in the 36th minute of this game.
Thrilling game here at the Racecourse Stadium, the second semi-final. It hasn't disappointed. Both teams going all out at each other, and at this point in time it's Saunders coming out as a better team, as that ball too bounces over the head of Lutfi. Shaky clearance, but just enough by Saunders. doesn't do enough to keep it in the field of play, does Roger Phillip. Neither does Frimpong Yao. Mufasal, a hopeful high pass towards Frank and Philip, but neither were able to get on the end of it. Shaky clearance there by Nalim, but Alassane does really well to clean things up. Header coming in, and what a save by Alassane. Trying to nick him on the second occasion as well, but just a bit too much on that. Great bit of play there by Serendib. Coming to life was Vijay Kumar, but now break on the opposite end. Here's Frank trying to pick out Pathum Gimhan. His pass goes away, but on the now down the right, Mufasal. Now the skipper trying to find his support player. Pathum Gimhan collects the second ball, gives it to the goal scorer. Saunders pushing numbers forward. Indi Udara with his bag of tricks. Nalim for support. Uses Nalim as he dinks it into the box, but not too many support players for him as Serendib tries to break, but possession changes hands yet again.
Has been the story so far. This first 45 minutes, it has been all Saunders who started very strong, Romario, and continued to make sure that they build up on that, and the chances have come as the confidence kept growing. Serendib with an opportunity with that solitary penalty, but soon after conceded two back to back, just like they conceded the first two in very short intervals, which has really put pressure on them again. Brilliant 1-2, still alive for Saunders. Clovis Serendib
Trying to walk the ball into the goal are these Saunders players, but now Rahman 3-on-2. Will he be able to find his support player? No, he is not. Well defended there by Nalim. Indi Udar finding Mufasal, running at the defense. Numbers for Saunders. Now Abdulaziz trying to thread a pass, but Lufti is well up to the task. An end-to-end half here, Sudarshana. It has been quite dramatic. Goals galore. But I think Serendib will be kicking themselves for not taking the one or two opportunities that presented itself. If they had done so, it would have the mountain would have not been so steep to climb. But looking at it from here, the game seems to be well and truly in the grasp of Saunders. Muvasal does really well to keep the ball in play. Gets across in. Ricocheting off the Serendib player and cleared to safety. Now Safan running down the right flank for his team. Beating the would-be defender. Picking out a pass. No, unfortunately not. This game has well and truly opened up, even though the scoreline leads 4-1 in favour of Saunders. Credit should go to them as well, Sudarshan. They have not shut up shop. They are continuing to play the game, and they are doing it at a good pace, and it's quite entertaining to watch.
100% Romario, you really got to give credit to Saunders. We're still looking to put a big score on the board. What they're looking for is a feel-good momentum as they run, and here's an opportunity. But the flag goes up. A very, very prominent aspect of the Saunders game has been their midfield ability to try and win the interception in the amber zone, Romario, which has really put Serendib under a lot of pressure and stretched them.
They certainly have, and once they turn over possession, they counter-attack at lightning pace, and that too has put Serendib under immense pressure. They have not been able to cope up, and the scoreline too reads in favour of Saunders.
Like you mentioned on early doses, Romario, the fatigue does take a driving seat when it comes to the second half. But Saunders now, because of the pace that they played in this first 45, they can take a comfortable seat. They managed to capitalize on chances and put in 4 goals. Now they can manage the second half game. They don't have to go breakneck pace. But Serendib will have to dish out the best 45 that they have in this tournament to stay alive at the end of this game.
Indeed, 2 early goals from Saunders, courtesy Roger Phillip and his counterpart, meant that Saunders went into a 2-goal advantage. A penalty from Rahman cut the deficit by half, but Abdulaziz and Clovis Frank scored a couple more goals at the latter part of this first half as the first 45 comes to an end. Saunders in a commanding 4-1 lead over Serendib. A few highlights from that first half. It all started in favour of Saunders, and this was a good clearance off the line. Serendib thought they had scored, but they were just off target with that header from Abhishan. But then it was Pathum Gimhan who troubled down that left flank, and this was the opening goal of Roger Phillip as he opened the scoring. Abdulaziz made it 2 in quick succession, but then a penalty went the way of Serendib as Darko George was brought down by Nalim. A belated penalty, but it was given. Rahman scored. Then Pathum Gimhan thought he had found the back of the net, but in fact it was not Pathum Gimhan, it was Mohammad Fauzan. Saunders were troubled not once but twice. However, the back of the net wasn't found, and the 4th goal in that first half was scored by Clovis Frank as 4 different goal scorers got on the score sheet for Saunders as they go in to the break with a commanding 4-1 advantage.
da jalilade rase Champions League ek had gas mein hanguman kick pe java naramenne bhag dulanne bhidi dasate goal ek gannai sit sarasenne samarok wenne saddeta denne one heart. One game, one heart. Champions League. This is where we start. Together we dream, together we fight. We are the champions. Under the Champions League में one game, one heart. Champions League saklanai aramenne dididenne jayaganne ekaseenata apiyanne one game, one heart. Champions League where dreams take part. Raise your flags, feel the art. One game, one heart.
Sri Lanka Football Champions League. Powered by TV Supreme.
Hello and welcome back to this second half of this second semi-final. It's Saunders in pole position, leading 4 goals to 1 over Serendib. As Serendib have rung a couple of changes with the hopes of a change in fortune. As the two teams have made their way into the playing field. Sudarshan, I think for Saunders it'll be pretty much more of the same. But for Serendib, they'll no doubt be hoping for a change of fortunes.
For Saunders, of course, like you mentioned, Romario, I think while doing pretty much of the same, they will look to try and slow things down as well. Roizan coming in for Rishaduma for Serendib. Saunders will look to take their foot off the pedal a little bit, knowing that they need to try and manage their squad and the players for next game, which is very, very important as well against the Maryites, who turned out to be a pretty unpredictable team. But if Serendib does not really come into the party, it's going to be a long day for them. Long 45 at minimum. And that's the kickoff, and straight away a long ball from Udar, the skipper. This is what they've done fabulously well. Saunders win that territorial battle.
Indeed, I think Saunders will be hoping that they will be able to pile on the pressure on Serendib. But Serendib, they will be quite hopeful that they will be able to get something back as a great ball comes in. The defenders hoping for the offside flag to go up, but the assistant referee said otherwise. And thankfully for Serendib, the forward was unable to control that ball. If not, it would have been curtains early on, Sudarshana.
Yeah, I think Mufassal was also surprised at the fact that the flag didn't go up. The attacker to that ball.
Frank picks off the pocket of his opponent. Unfortunately, though, his pass was lacking. Fauzan trying to pick a pass, but the ball ricochets back to him. Now here goes Pathum Gimana with an opportunity. Unfortunately, he should have gone across the goalkeeper, but instead his shot was well off target and did not trouble the keeper with his left. Indi Udar picking Philip as he raises his head, surveys his options and picks out his teammate. But Serendib reclaim possession. Trying to make something happen are the Serendib players, midfielders in fact, but still the bounce of the ball unfortunately not going their way. And here's Pathum Gimana again, driving into the box, cutting it back, but well defended on that occasion. He has no doubt been a thorn in the flesh of Serendib as Pathum Gimana, Sudarshan, and he goes to show why.
Yet again, brilliant run, and the replacement, Roizan, really having to intervene there. Pathum Gimana has been threatening and really does deserve the goal. He's trying his level best to try and get his name on the scoreboard. Mufassal has been good with delivery earlier when he delivered in the first half. Delivered a terrific ball which fell into the grasp of Frank. Yet again, good delivery. Nobody claiming that, oh, how and why hasn't that found the back of the net?
Boy, oh boy. Nalim was pretty much in the on the goal line, but just unable to poke that ball into the back of the net. If we can have a replay of that, we could be able to see how or why he wasn't able to do so. But boy, oh boy, I'm sure they would not go closer than that and miss. Philip just body checking his opponent, Frimpong Yao. Yao making maximum of that. Here's Serendib down the left, trying to create a chance of their own. Ball falls to Safan. Unfortunately, though, he wasn't expecting it, unable to control it, and it got away. But straight away from defense to attack go Saunders. Fauzan picking a pass. Here's an opportunity, but well covered by Lutfi. Side to side game, Sudarshana. This has not disappointed, and it continues to give.
Fabulous, just fabulous, isn't it? Saunders, you look at the numbers that they're committing to the ball, making sure that they put pressure. Alassane, even with his interventions, he's looked very sure and managing to pick out the long passes. Nalim, Philippe, now Serendib looking to put pressure, but only as far as Priyadarshana. Alassane picks out Frank. Aziz. Dara cannot get there, but puts pressure and gives away the free kick.
Soft foul there on Safri. But Serendib goes straight away. They know that they have to attack and they have to score if they are to get back into this game. But the way things are going, it doesn't look too promising for Serendib. Frank being picked out, but Pathum Gimman somehow manages to keep the ball in the field of play. Here's an opportunity, a golden opportunity. Unfortunately, Clovis Frank from point blank range pulls it.
I got to feel for this young lad, Pathum Gimhan. Excellent work rate. Cannot deliver a better one. Too casual, isn't it, that time? Both of them cannot believe themselves. Both Mufassal and Frank had golden opportunity. But Gimhan yet again winning that ball, making the run.
He has been a workhorse as Pathum Gimhan. Unfortunately, still not found his name on the score sheet, but he has been delivering some sumptuous deliveries for his forwards, who have scored on a couple of occasions, missed on a couple of occasions as well. But now Rahman, the goal scorer, the only goal scorer for Serendib, trying to pick a pass. A lovely pass has been picked. Here's an opportunity, and what a goal! What a goal! That time it was Vijay Kumar Abhishan, and boy oh boy, didn't he finish that in sublime fashion, Sudarshana.
Abhishan earlier opportunity was disallowed, but this time managing fabulous, threading that tiny little space that opened up. 4-2, there is still life. One more goal and Serendib can really claw their way back into this game. They had to work hard, and work hard they did. Now doubt will be put on the heads of Saunders and those missed chances.
Indeed. Still, they are coming back to bite them, but here's Serendib back on the attack. Safan trying to get the ball into the box, but well defended. Sumptuously well defended there. Now Pathum Gimman on his bike again, running at the defense, but this time well marshalled by Farhan. Here's a chance, but the flag goes up as Fauzan goes down clutching at his shin and seems to be in a bit of trouble, Sudarshana.
Yeah, Fauzan has been doing a lot of running. Maybe got some contact on the shin. Just there. Pulls up, seems like it's his ankle.
Goal for Serendib, jersey number 18, Vijay Kumar Abhishek.
Alasane takes a free kick, however does not find his teammate. Frimpong Yao does well, but unfortunately the referee thinks no, he hasn't. On first win, we thought he did manage to use his shoulder and nothing more than that, but the referee has something else to say about it. Alasane will be hoping for a better delivery this time around, trying to find Pathum Gimman, but again cleared to safety. Skipper Indi Udara finds his keeper as he hoofs the ball upfield. Frank running at the defense. Here's an opportunity, but unfortunately crowded out was Clovis Frank. Still though with possession, but to the rescue of his team comes Riaz. He has been in that position time and time again this evening, in this game, and he has not disappointed his team, Sudarshana.
Has been fabulous. Made sure that he gets his body across. 2-4 Mario, one more goal, and Serendip will believe that there is still life in this game to be fought.
Corner taken shot, swung into the box, but just not to his teammate. Now Rahman trying to pick a pass like he did before. This time around he finds Safan. He cuts back in. He tries to pick his forward. Does manage to do so. Receives the return ball. Lovely 1-2. But Pathum Gimman. But who else? Coming back. Not only going forward but coming back as well in defense. Now Frank with his box of tricks on this left hand side. Trying to run away, but unfortunately for him, his defender Farhan does his job immaculately well. Serendib with time running out on them. Looking for the next goal that will make it a 1-goal game. It won't be easy. Saunders have shown great attack and a good show in defense as well. Trying to pick Abhishan, the goal scorer, but just falling short. Now swinging it into the box, Abhishan. Half clearance, Rahman goes to the floor, but gets back up sheepishly with a bit of a smile on his face.
Didn't fool anyone, Rahman, that time. Serendib looking for any rubber the green that they can get. That time from now. Foul. Seems that he was fouled, but it was his swinging arm that's wrong. There. Long ball and Lutfi underneath that. Has been delivering. Udara has been delivering some bombs from range, distance, and has really challenged this midfield of Serendib Romario. And that lad, Patum Gibman, seems like he has extra pair of boots on him.
Indeed, he has been running his socks off. 60 minutes into this game, on the hour mark, he still managed to do so, having quite some fitness. Rahman trying to pick a pass, but unfortunately did not go to feet. Frank to Philip, but Philip's return pass unfortunately wasn't expected by any of his teammates. Serendib trying to find the goal scorer Abhishan. The best of passes there, but on the second time of asking, they somehow managed to put the ball out of play. Do Saunders. Good defensive play there by Fauzan on this near touch line. He has a goal to his name as well and has been playing quite well. Indi Budara goes down, clutching on his face. Not too happy with something that happened with Frimpong Yao, claiming that there was an elbow. This will show us much better. Oh, seemed to be a bit of an elbow there, but he's no doubt reminding Frimpong Yao that he has that in the back of his mind. Quite difficult to say how much of an intention the player had there. Rahman. Pass picked off by Indi Budara. However, the second pass did not find a teammate for Saunders. Goal kick taken quickly. Serendib looking to find their teammate at the front, but just unable to do so. Frimpong Yao getting the return ball, but just unable to control it. Fauzan picks up Aziz. 2 goal scorers combining. Now from the outside of his foot, but just no teammate in support as Riaz on his bike picking out a pass, but the flag goes up this near touchline.
Yeah, Akers in front that time. Serendib not having the urgency and the quickness required to try and counter. Got to feel for Riaz, who's really putting all effort there at the start itself. Miles in front. Samir to the box, and this time Lutfi will get it under control.
Lutfi not be too pleased with the number of goals he has conceded. Rahman fighting hard, unable to keep hold of the ball. Frimpong Yao toe pokes it, looking for his teammate Safan, but just finds a touchline instead. Fauzan going for a long throw, but pocket picked not once but twice by both teams. Nalim's pass finds his teammate down that right hand side. Mufasal that was, but his pass just unable to cut the defense, cut through the defense as Abdulaziz, he runs out of space. Pathum Gimhan trying to run on the shoulder of the last defender, but he is caught offside. Frimpong Yao picks out his teammate down the far left. Now Serendib running at the defense, but Nalim is there. Does really well, does Nalim in defense. And Alassane cleans things up. Frank trying to pick out his teammate, but Lufti up to the task. Finds his teammate. Clovis Frank though coming back and clearing things up. Goes down just Darko George, but as fast as he went down, he gets back up. Pathum Gimhan has been gifted possession. Now trying to pick a pass. Unfortunately, Frank and Gimhan failing to combine on that occasion. Frimpong Yao taking his own cool time, finds his teammate as Indi Budar clears his lines. No mercy there. As finally the game has seemed to have petered out. Pathum Gimana is making the most out of that, as the first card of this game comes in the 69th minute, Sudarshana.
Roizan came on to the game in the second 45, and it took 69 minutes for the referee to pull out the card, who has had great control over this game. Here's what happened. Pathum Gimman looking to make that run, and there the elbow on the chest, and Gimman has been doing a lot of running.
So now an opportunity for Saunders to hoof one ball back into the penalty area, hoping to find a teammate. Pathum Gimhan still on the floor. Abdulaziz and the skipper lining behind this dead ball. Indi Udar. Numbers to find, but a lovely palm comes out by Lufti as he clears his lines and diffuses any situation there.
Aziz calling that one in. Dangerous shot that. And Saunders showcasing that they are potent from all ends. Taking a very slow walk to the ball, and they can afford to do that. 2-goal cushion. Minimum of 20 minutes to go. Romario in this game.
Corner comes in, gets off the head of a Serendib player. Frank keeps it in play. Abdulaziz picking up pass, or rather shot, but straight into the grasp of the keeper. Rahman, he looks long, finds his teammate, and he has support. Shot from range, however, Rahman just got it stuck under his feet, the ball, as a change comes in for Saunders. Abdulaziz, the goal scorer, Sudarshana, goes off and is replaced by Mohammad Zaid.
Well, at the same time, I think Samir Pereira is down as well for Saunders, which might get Saunders to try and rethink as well. Getting a little tending to Samira. Nazis walks out, has had a fabulous game. And Zaid will be expected to close this game out.
Alasane takes a goal kick as play resumes after a short pause. Now here's an opportunity. Chance trying to go around the keeper was Frank, but just unable to do so as Lutfi was well up to the task, rushed out and ensured that he got his hands to the ball.
Now the fatigue setting in for most of the players. Those cramps coming in.
Serendib trying to make something out of nothing. Looking to pick a pass, but the Saunders defense is well up to the task.
Well, fresh legs on the park, and Mohamed Zaid straight away shows the difference. Much more pace. This will unsettle Serendib as well, because Saunders do have the luxury of managing to get fresh legs in the midfield. Romario, they can put pace on ball as well. They started, like you mentioned early, with a 4-3-3. Now it's given them opportunity to get couple of players up high, because it's Serendib who has to do all the heavy lifting.
Certainly they have to stick a few more bodies into the defense. Shot taken from range, but safely in the grasp of the keeper. As he goes long, as he has been doing all evening. Saunders trying to find that pass over the defense. However, Frank and Alasane, Philip rather, just gets in the way of each other. From deep to Frank, as he finds Mufasal, but his dink over the defensive line had too much on it. Down the left, running is Serendib, trying to find a pass, but just too close to the keeper. command in his area is Alassane. Both teams just running out of ideas. Frank down the left, well defended by Rahman, and Serendib win the throw in. Rahman looking long, but just too much on it as Alassane lets the ball roll into the safety as coach legend Sumit Valpola looks on alongside his support staff. Jude Karunaratne, the goalkeeper coach. 80 minutes have passed. 10 minutes more of regulation time. Serendib still fighting. Now with an opportunity, but just unable to control the ball as Samir Pereira goes to the floor. There's no way that there is a card being shown there. Both players going for the ball. Free kick taken short. Back to Alassane as he looks to go long. Fauzan claiming that he was just jumping for the ball, but the referee thought otherwise. Trying to run at the defense is Darko George, but he seems to be finding himself in a bit of trouble. There's a replay. Tempers boiling over at this last few minutes. Darko George has got a booking for his troubles. It all went down here. And after that, a bit too early there, we cut off the replay. Samir Pereira took that quick free kick. Alasane tried to find his teammate but wasn't successful. Now Philip trying to find Pathum Gimhan. In fact, it's Mufasal. No, in fact, it's Gimhan, beg your pardon. Now running down that goal line, but just out of space was Pathum Gimhan.
Now shifted towards the right. Gimhan looking for work. Such a workhorse he's been for the men in yellow. Udara been asked to has opted to take the corner. Keep an eye out for one angled in here. Has the ability.
Indi Udar chipping it in. Shot comes off the boot of Roger Phillip, but off target. Doesn't really trouble the keeper. Running out of space on the field was Serendib on that occasion. Mohammad Safan. Now both teams lacking quite the bit of execution they had in that first half, as fatigue seems to be setting in. Good defensive play there by Saunders, but just that pass not going to the teammate. Nalim with his bit of tricks. Serendib just losing their way. Pathum Gimhan now down the right, running at his defenders. Here's an opportunity for the substitute Zaid. Seem to have got caught, also he claims, but the referee says nothing doing as play goes on. Frank trying to find Philip. He does with the left. Tame. Lufti now finds Rahman. He looks for his teammate, but unsuccessful. Handball by Ahmad, as the free kick has been taken quickly. Calling bodies forward. Cross coming in, but too close to the keeper. Darko George not too happy with the number of bodies he sees in the white jumper inside the box. But now Saunders will be looking to make it fabulous 5 as they finish this game. Through pass coming in, but the keeper well up to it, as Pathum Gimhan's search for that goal continues well into the 90th minute of this game. 89th minute, beg your pardon.
What's a minute gonna do in a game as comfortable as this for the Saunders? Can really feel the frustration building. Lads from Serendib who are looking for a consolation goal at least. What they've done wrong is the fact that they've left a lot for chance, Romario.
Indeed, they have, and in this sort of a pressure cooker game, you can't leave anything to chance because you never know how the bounce of the ball will go. And this evening, it has gone the way of Saunders, as they have worked hard and made their own luck as well. Safan goes out. Ashir rather, comes in as we hear confirmation of 3 minutes of added time will be added on. Indiva Udar. Sharing a sip of water with the young boy in the Udar before taking this free kick. One last opportunity. Here's a chance. Frank just unable to get it past. The body is in front of him.
Well, that's the third miss for Frank this evening, despite getting on the scoreboard as well. Not the easiest one he missed, but he's missed a few.
He could have well and truly scored a hat-trick, but it's easier said than done, and that's exactly why Pathum Gimhan goes short with the corner. Zaid lofts it in, but not the best of balls. Here's an opportunity. Oh, chance again. Frank and Roger Phillip both just unable to find the back of that net for the fifth time this evening. If only that ball had been left by Priyadarshana to come through to Clovis Frank, would have been quite a different story, but it's an evening of it would have been. Here's another opportunity. Hit in the upright, Roger Phillip. Well, even well into the added time, Saunders are chance in their arm.
Yeah, it has been how they played this game. Phillip, this time, take a look at this. Just the woodwork between them and the fifth goal.
Serendib running down the left was Darko George, but unable to find space. Now Rahman, the goal scorer, trying to get the cross in, but well defended, as this may very well be the final act of this game. Pathum Gimhan has run his socks off this evening, and he is replaced by Mohammad Shahid.
Yeah, the lad deserves a big round of applause, as the Saunders faithful put their hands together. Shahid for the last few seconds.
That's that. Saunders have cruised through into the final of the Champions Cup. They have managed to defeat Serendib 4-2, and now it's just St. Mary's that stand in their way and in between the Champions Cup.
Ladies and gentlemen, the final score is Serendib 2, Saunders 4.
The final score is 4-2 in favour of Saunders, as Serendib were no match for Saunders. A 4-goal first half meant that Saunders had quite an unassailable lead, and Serendib, well, they just could not bite back. The two teams share in a moment following full time, as a tough game comes to an end, and Indiva Udara, well, he will be wearing the captain's armband for one final opportunity, for one final time rather, as he will lead his Chargers into the final. A final against St. Mary's, but before that they will savor this victory rather. Saunders 4, Serendib 2. Too good for the team in white. Here are a few highlights of that second half, where there was not too much action, as everything happened in the first half. There were a few goal line clearances, but that was about that. This was as close as Saunders got. Serendib 2, they had a goal of their own, but that was pretty much that, as a long season has come to an end for one team, but for the other they have one more final game, as that game will be played for silverware. Towards the end as well, Saunders troubled Lufti in goal, but nothing more than that. So here's how the road to the final looks. On the 5th of April, it'll be St. Mary's playing Saunders for the final of this Champions Cup 2026 knockout tournament. As until we meet you then, it's us signing off. Sudarshana Piris alongside myself, Romario De Silva, and our technical and production crew. It's thank you and good night.